Hey guys, how's it going? So what we're looking at today, we're looking at the big patch that we had on the 1st of April. And do apologise that this is a couple of days behind, that I have been super hella busy with work. Who would have thought that working from home would actually mean I was busier? I genuinely thought that I would be in a position where I could just be like chilling, playing Black Desert and working at the same time. Turns out that's not the case. So yeah. Anywho, what have we got here? We have a whopper of a patch, absolutely monstrous, which has led to a huge download. And it's interesting that me doing this now, a couple of days later, has it's kind of unraveled that there were some issues with this patch, and those have since been fixed. So I'll cover those. That's right at the end of the video, I'm afraid. So I will get to those, but just bear with me while I go through all this. In the meantime, so to begin with, adventurers, a new update has been released which brings with it a whole new region to explore, new field bosses, new life skill mini games, and more. Find out what's coming in the April 1st update. So to begin with, we have Drieghan. The Land of Dragons is finally available, as Drieghan is now available. The mountainous region was once teeming with dragons, but after the great battle, all of them are rumored to have been killed. I will apologise. My reading is not the best, and this patch has been sent to completely throw me because the spellings of some of these this new content is difficult for me. So bear with me. The Sherikans, the brave warriors who slew the dragons, now rest in the Sherikans' necropolis. Find out more about the region of Drieghan in our GM note, so we will have a look at that as well. In order to pick up the Drieghan, a message from the Queen quest, you need to have finished the following quests and be level 58, Heart of Camasilv, or Crossroad, yes, it is poorly governed and their armies are pathetic, or Crossroad, no, their elite forces hold their mountains tight. Okay, so a couple of quests there to be eligible for this particular quest chain. Now we have some new bosses as well. This is really exciting. So with the new region comes new threats, and two of the biggest threats of Drieghan are the leader of the Kangtums, Liber, and the leader of I can't even say that. Kavarix. I don't know. That thing there. Katsvarik. I'm really bad at reading. I blame dyslexia. But man, seriously though, those are difficult ways to pronounce these. I think the K's, the direct translation from Korean, I understand that you pronounce the K, so Kavariaks, perhaps? Katvariak? Who knows? Anyway, rumours have it that Liber is imbued with magical strength and knowledge gifted to him by Garmuth and the battles with Sherikan. Upon smelling the blood of Liber's enemies on so I'm losing my tongue as well, which is not helpful, Gamroth, Liber pledged eternal loyalty to the Crimson Dragon. So Liber is a scroll boss, and when defeated, we'll have the chance of dropping Liber's gloves. Liber's gloves offer more DP than Beg's gloves at the cost of accuracy. So there we go for sort of a tanky alternative kind of build. We have Liber's gloves with base stats of 2 DP, accuracy 10, evasion, damage reduction, blah blah blah. So usual stuff, just slight variations, slight spin on your builds essentially. Okay, so Katsvariak is an anthropomorphic lizard that lead. Oh my god, these words. Katsvariak is an anthropomorphic lizard that leads the Kavariaks. The leader has not been seen for a long time, but has recently resurfaced along with reports that Garmuth has awoken. This colossal figure has taken many an adventurer's life. Katsvariak is a field boss and will randomly spawn on servers at random times. When killed, Katsvariak will drop the Eye of the Ruins ring, which boasts the same stats as a crescent ring. with the added bonus of extra HP at each level of enhancement. Sightings of Gammoth have caused a frenzy amongst the residents of Drieghan, but as of yet his resting spot has not been discovered. He will be making an appearance in a future update. Okay. Lakiaro. I don't know. I give up. We're going to say Lakiaro. Once thought extinct due to the dark corruption in the lands of Drieghan, the Lakiaro have started to once again Lakiaro. Once thought extinct due to the dark corruption in the lands of Drieghan, the Lakiaro have started to once again appear across Drieghan. Not only that, but the plants are rumoured to also be growing in Camasylvia too. These medicinal plants are revered for their healing properties, and the older the roots are, the more sought after they are. Vendors across the world are willing to part with their life savings in order to get them. When digging up the Lakiaro, you need to be incredibly careful not to hit the roots, otherwise the plant will lose value. To start the Lakiaro minigame, you will need to have a Doster hoe, and find one of the rare plants growing in the wild. Once you begin the minigame, your character will be unable to be attacked. Now that's useful to know, that once you find that you are invulnerable while you complete the minigame, essentially. So yeah, so this minigame, it looks like you are to kind of extract the plant by digging up the patches around it, trying to preserve the roots. So you have, by the looks of things, the options to dig deeply, dig shallowly, and I guess it's a trade-off between digging shallowly and not risking anything, and kind of essentially uncovering the where you need to dig deeply, I guess, and so on and so forth. So the goal of the minigame is to extract roots without dealing too much damage to the roots. By selecting a square on the grind, by selecting a, they're as good at writing as I am reading. By selecting a square on the grid and pressing either X on the Xbox or square on the PS4, dig deep, or A on the Xbox and X on the PS4, shallow dig, you can start to dig up the roots. The amount of rewards you get at the end of the minigame will depend on how damaged the root is. Okay. There are multiple types of Lakairos available, and the difficulty of the minigame will depend on which type of Lakiaro you have discovered. The minigame will the minigame will either be on a 12x12 grid or a 14x14 grid, and the amount of energy required to start the minigame will also depend on the type and difficulty of the Lakiaro you are trying to extract. So we have a list of all the different plants that you can find, ranging from young to primitive, and the difficulties are increasing as we go down the list, and you're using more energy per one as well. So you're using 50 energy for a primitive difficulty one compared to 20 for a young. So while digging up the Lakiaro, you will have the choice of either deep digging or shallow digging. Deep digs are unlimited, but Doster hoes have a limited number of shallow digs. Both digs have a different effect. So deep dig will dig up dirt and pebbles, will damage the Lakiaro if it touches a root. The shallow dig will reveal a Lakiaro root if there is one in the square, but will not dig up empty dirt or pebbles. So, like I was saying earlier, it's a trade-off there. So you have a limited amount of shallow digs that you can use to sort of reveal where the roots are, but the deep dig is where you're digging up the dirt and the pebbles, essentially. So, trade-off. Okay, so system changes. As Europe enters summertime, we'll be adjusting all timed events, Node Wars, Conquest Wars, World Boss, so that the times once again match their usual times for players. During this time, you will use the UTC+1 as the time zone. This allows your current methods of working out differentials between our official notices and your own time zones, i.e. if you are in France, your times will still be our advertised time plus 1 hour. We've also made changes to make hunting a more pleasurable experience, thank God. The first change is that the animation for kneeling and getting back up with a matchlock equipped have been increased by around 30%. The animation has been increased. So it's longer. Surely they mean shorter. The animation for kneeling and getting back up has been increased. So the slowing down the animation is what they're saying there. That can't be right. Reloading has also been improved, so it will now reload 1 bullet at a time. If you are interrupted during the reload animation, you will keep however many bullets you are currently loading to the rifle. For example, you reload 2 bullets and then get interrupted, you will keep 2 bullets. Well, that kind of makes sense. Dev note: the mechanics of using a matchlock has The mechanics of using a matchlock has been relatively frustrating for some time. We wanted to alleviate the frustration to improve the animations of using the matchlock and also improve the way that reloading works. That's literally what it just says there. I mean, why do we need to have a dev note to clarify what we've literally just said? Anyway. You can now substitute 1 dried squid with 1 fresh squid in cooking recipes. Whoop whoop. Quest changes. Changes have been made to the awakening weapons gifted to players once the awakening quest has been completed. So before, you would get a green grade plus 10 awakening weapon and a blue grade plus 0 awakening weapon. Now you are getting a blue grade plus 0 awakening weapon with the same stats as the plus 10 green grade weapon. This weapon cannot be enhanced. Right, okay. That's interesting. So they're giving you a blue grade unenhanceable awakening weapon that has the same stats as a plus 10. That's kind of frustrating, but okay. Okay. Is what it is. Changes have also been made to the Camasylvia questline. It will now be easier to interact with Catherine's journal in the main quest, Sea of Spring. We will also be changing the quest objective to Igor Batali's Adventure Log Chapter 3, Entry 4. Instead of just quipping the earring left behind by the witch, you will need to show it to a certain NPC. I'm sure that means equipping, not just quipping. Okay, so UI changes, blah blah blah, boring. Node War changes. There will be changes to the balance structures in Node War in the Node and Conquest War. These changes will improve the defensive aspects of structures within the wars, making it slower for them to be destroyed. Increase durability of castle gates by around 25%. Increase the durability of forts, command posts, and field HQs by about 25%. Barricade durability increased by approximately 40%. Iron barricade durability increased by 20%. Siege towers durability increased by around 40%. Okay, so general character changes. This update will be making significant changes to most classes in Black Desert. This includes the reduction of accuracy in certain skills and some other quality of life additions to several classes. So 100% accuracy changes. So today's update will adjust the accuracy rate of many skills in Black Desert. The 100% accuracy skills are a very important part of PvP, but they have become too overbearing and nullify the effectiveness of evasion. These balance changes were aimed at classes that can use these skills in combination with overpowering combos that can give little chance for the opponent to play out the fight. Okay, so the following skills for the accuracy rates changed from 100% to 50%. So I'm just going to run through these dead quick. Warrior, takedown, counter, slash on horseback. Sorceress, shard explosion, flow of darkness, blade of darkness, nightmare. Ranger, spirit shackles, flow, rooting, bow skill on horseback. Berserker, smackdown, undertaker, rock smash, corpse, storm, lava piercer, flow, shooting mobility, rooting, elastic force on horseback. Tamer, stretch kick, soaring kick, cloud stomping, flow, cloud ride. Valkyrie, counter, punishment, celestial spear, purification. I'd not come across that before. Wave of light, Valkyrie slash on horseback. Musa, blooming, counter assassination, projection, summoned hits, flow, extra credits, summoned hit. Ninja, suicide fall, flash bondage, heart aiming, wind slash on horseback. Kunoichi, suicide fall, ninjutsu, sinew cuts, assassin's trail, heart aiming, delighted blast, lunar blast, wind slash on horseback. Witch, man absorption, toxic flood. Wizard, man absorption, lava field, flame knot. Dark knight, luscious snare, imperious command, Kriegmaster training on horseback. Striker, massive suppression, hellbreak. Echo spirits, flow, bite off, heavy fist. Echo spirits hits in certain awakening skills. Mystic binding, dragon's pit, infinite fortitude, sea dragon hits in certain awakening skills. Lan, soul raid, moon dance, archer, righteous fire, black spirit, radiant explosion. Shy, forest echo, sun's fury, earth's tremble, and Meiwa, blooming, sticky snowflake, slice on horseback. So that's a whole bucket load of nerfs to everybody. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of influences the PvP side of things. Now, individual changes to the classes. Valkyrie, fixed an issue where purification did not deal damage to targets in front of Valkyrie when used consecutively. Fixed an issue where extra effects of flow, breath of alien were applied when breath of alien skills were used with a long sword drawn, even if flow, breath of alien was not learned yet. Fixed an issue where certain circumstances pre-awakening skills could sometimes not be used after using breath of alien from the ring menu when with the Lancia drawn. Okay, so some issues there that needed fixing have been fixed. Mystic fixed an issue where CC effects applied to all hits when Hidden Claw was used after Dash Buster. Fixed an issue where Somersault was not activated in certain situations after Scissor Kick was activated. Added the push effect of Hidden Claw to its skill description. Fixed an issue where the inputs from Rage Hammer would activate Nature's Wrath or Unbridled Wrath in certain situations. Wow, the ninja. Changed the all evasion rate effects of skill smoke screen. So instead of the smoke screen sort of climbing up the evasion rate as a particular percentage on each skill level, you now actually have the same evasion rate for the first 3 levels, and then jumps up to a flat 9% for the remaining 2. So overall there is a reduced evasion rate, and it is not gradual as it previously was. So essentially you're not gaining anything from going from, say, 1 to 3, but then if you hit 4, then it's going to jump up quite a, well, not quite a chunk compared to what it was previously. Sudden Decapitation will now allow you to switch from pre-awakening to awakening. Drastic Measure can now be comboed after Vacuum Slash or the second hit of Sudden Decapitation. Flow Execution can now be comboed with the transition stance attacks of Serpent Ascension. Changed the all evasion rate effects for the following skills: Ninjutsu, Oni Shadow, and Shuriken Moondive. So before, we're looking at evasion rate 18%, now it is going to be 9%, so that's like literally half, which ties in with the previous mentioned accuracy kind of things. That kind of looks like they're bringing everything down. Kunoichi changed the all evasion rate smoke screen. We're looking exactly the same as we have with the ninja. You can now combo Dance Macabre during Lunatic Discus or Chain Crash Chakram. now 50% critical hit rate. So Chain Crash Sachakram now has 50% critical hit rate, effects in PvE only. Chain Crash Sachakram can now be used off cooldown. Chain Crash Sachakram can now be comboed into faster Half Moon / Wheel of Wrath or Flow Indignation. Cooldown of Lunatic decreased from 15 to 12 seconds. Reduced all PvP damage dealt by Lethal Spin Spree by 17%. Changes the all evasion rate effects of the following skills. So basically the same as the ninja. We're just literally half in the evasion rate. Musa, reduce the attack range of protection and flow extra credit. Therefore, these skills will push targets less far. You can now combo flow extra credit faster after projection. You can now combo flow / after below the belt by holding R1/RB. You can now combo flow back flow after below the belt by moving left/right and pressing R1/RB. Meiwa added an all evasion rate 3% effect to successful hits of Sticky Snowflake. Corrected the attack range of Sticky Snowflake so that the range now matches the skill effects. Corrected the following skill descriptions to include the accuracy effects: Petal Drill, Black Spirit Petal Drill, Petal Bloom. Black Spirit Petal Bloom, Flow December. Did I say December? Yeah. Flow Cloud Stab. Flow Moonlight Dash can now be added to the ring menu. The damage dealt by Flow Moonlight Dash will now correlate by the damage dealt by the Petal Bloom skill used prior. Corrected the attack range of the following skills so that the range better matches the graphical effects: Frost Pillars when not on cooldown, and Flow Tip of an Iceberg. Sorceress. Fix an issue where Engulfing Shadow activated without the dashing motion when the skill was used after certain range skills. Tamer removed the pushes the target on good hits effect on the following skills: All Around Spinner, Lightning of Earth, Surging Tide, Upward Claw. Reduce the distance of the pushes the targets on good hits effect on the following skills: Echo Pierce, Heilang, Whiplash, Fearful Trembling. Striker. Fix an issue where the martial spirit shards were consumed when using Crouching Wolf to flash step when you had 2 shards available. Fix an issue where Striker would return to combat after switching to non-combat mode in Awakening. So there we go, we have a significant amount of changes to the classes there. I don't know a lot of the classes, so I don't know how that impacts you directly. So if there are anything significant that's really annoyed you with those changes, or anything that you're really pleased about, then please leave me a comment, let me know what is cool and what is not. Other changes, right, we're almost done here and we'll soon be on to the issue that was rolled back. So due to the popularity of Christmas music, we have added it to the game as a permanent addition, which is weird. The description of the character slot expansion coupon has been modified to accurately reflect the current situation. The maximum character slow now equals the number of available classes, so presumably that should say slots. The Kama Sylvia quest, Altar of Training, has been added to the recommended quests. Fix an issue where sending items to storage would display the incorrect text. That was an interesting bug. You could make it so it looked like you were duplicating literally thousands of items into in the transports, which was fun to watch. A guild member of mine, or ex-guild member of mine, brought that to my attention. So shout out to Abscess there for showing me this little bug. Fix an issue where a sorceress created as the smallest possible character would occasionally not apply all hits when using the skill Shard Explosion. That's really interesting. When the smallest possible character would occasionally not apply all hits using the skill Shard. That's crazy. You know, it's you never think that the size of a character would affect the gameplay in any way, shape or form, but this is evidence that it does. Fun facts: back in the day, in the Quake 2 day, people would opt to play the female character model as opposed to the male character model, not because they were weird perverts, but because the model was actually technically smaller and thus harder to hit, only by a small margin, but it was one of those edge that the pro players would use to make sure that they were, had all the advantage. So, there we go, fun fact. Unrelated to the game entirely, and a lot of you probably won't even know what Quake is. So, anyhow, fix the issue where the Chinese was selected as the language of Black Desert. It would still play the opening cinematics in English. Improve the speed in which the shop and storage UI loads. Fix an issue where family bound items would occasionally display as character bound. Decrease the amount of players required to trigger the hide other adventures option. That's a welcome change, because you could still have tons of players around you and it not trigger the hide other players option, and it would still cause hella lag with this ridiculous game. Fix an issue where when climbing a wall with a crescent pendulum, the crescent pendulum would abnormally move around. That was an interesting bug to observe, that's for sure. Fix an issue where tier 3 and tier 4 horses were not appearing in the wild. Due to the current server issues, we will be removing crystal shattering and EXP loss on death for the foreseeable future. We will announce when this will change back to normal. That's good. Go die and have fun and not worry about your crystals. Okay, note, if you are negative karma, you will still receive your normal death penalties. So just bear that in mind. Okay, so this last one, we have applied a change that should help mitigate crash issues. This change may cause slight increases to first load times. We will be monitoring this change carefully. So this is the change that they've actually just rolled back as of yesterday, because it was causing issues to the game. So they've actually rolled that back, and they said there will be monitoring performance or something and some such. In fact, let's just have a look at the exact wording that they gave us there. This one, I think it is. Yeah, so Adventurers, an update has been released which will roll back one of the changes made to the last update. As we mentioned in the last update, a measure was taken which would reduce the number of crashes at the expense of adding minor lag/loading time issues when talking to NPCs and open specific menus. This change has had a considerably negative effect on players' experience with the game, and therefore we're removing this change and working on further alleviating the side effects of it. We apologise for these hang-ups that have recently been plaguing certain users, and we will continue to work on further improving performance. So yeah, I think that's the same, unless it's that one. It's not explicitly clear, to be honest with you, but either way, I've just had to download a huge patch to get back into the game today, as I've not played it for a couple of days. Right, so what were we looking at? We were looking at Drieghan, wasn't we? We wanted to look at the quest notes, the Drieghan GM notes. An Explorer's Guide to Drieghan. Explorer's Guide to Drieghan, learn more about the new region. A brief history of Drieghan. The land of dragons, Drieghan has finally opened its mountainous territory to all adventurers to venture. To all adventurers to venture. This sounds like it was written in a hurry. Drieghan's beautiful peaks are only surpassed by its history and the amount of secrets that it holds. Today, let's look at some of the key areas of Drieghan and some of the things that Drieghan, its capital, has to offer. The beginning. Sherakan Necropolis. Sherakan Necropolis, a graveyard that is revealed by the people of Drieghan, is where the dragons of old were defeated by the Sherakans. After the great battle with the dragons, the Sherakans that have lost their lives were immortalized in what eventually became a sacred what the hell? Sepulchre. A small room or monument. Yeah, I'm really bad at spelling. Sepulchre. Shuriken Necropolis with gravestones that bear the marks Shurikens bore on their backs. A monolith was erected in the middle to pay homage to the valiant sacrifices of the brave tribe. Shuriken Necropolis is not only a historical site but also a source of pride for the people of Drieghan. Each year a ceremony is held to honour the lives that were lost in the great battle against the dragons. Rumours speak of artefacts hidden deep inside the necropolis, artefacts that speak the secrets of Shuriken and the great battle. Garmeth's Nest. Let me see how big this is, by the way. Okay, I'm going to cover off the same stuff in a minute. It looks things. Okay, Shuriken Necropolis, a graveyard that is revered by the people of Drieghan, where the dragons of old were defeated by the Shurikens. After the great battle of the dragons, Shurikens lost their lives, were immortalized in what eventually became a sacred sepulchre. Shuriken Necropolis with gravestones that bear the marks Shurikens bore on their backs. We've just read this. Okay. I'm not going to go through this again. The craftsmanship of Drieghan. The Shuriken's war against the dragons was not only testament to their bravery and courage, but also testament to those who created their powerful armaments. However, the traditional crafting methods that once armed the Shurikens were thought to have been lost, but according to Hughol, Duvenkroon's legendary blacksmith, there remains one book that details the methods. Unfortunately, it seems that he is the only one who has access to those works. So Dragon Slayer's great sword. That looks pretty cool, but a little bit stubby. Weapons forged using the methods from Hugh's book bear his name, but recent discoveries allow the same weapons to reach terrifying heights of power by concentrating refined black energy residue into gems known as Hesed's crystals. Craftsmen can transform Hugh's awakening weapons into fabled Dragon Slayer weapons of the Shuriken, which rival the powerful Dandelion weapons, or Dandelion, if you copy in the GMs. That's quite interesting. That's quite interesting. Yeah. Okay. Right, I'm not going to go through the rest of this because I'm bored, quite frankly. It's on the website. You can look it up. Anyhow, yeah, so that is all of the patch which has been today, as of the 1st of April, blah blah blah. I don't even know what I think about this whole thing, quite frankly. It's great that we've got new bosses, new areas to explore. Minigames, not super pumped about. Interesting to see how the changes to the specific classes, the accuracy and evasion changes will come into effect. But yeah, do you guys have any thoughts about the new content in the game, the new area? Do you like the new area? Do you hate the new area? Tell me what it is that is on your mind in relation to this patch. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button, because subscribing means that you will keep up to date with the latest news, tips and tricks for Black Desert on the consoles. Hopefully I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.